What's going on, everybody? Happy Father's Day. It is June 18th here. Wanted to do a quick market recap and a look ahead to Tuesday. Of course, markets are closed Monday, so enjoy the day off. Futures are open, but under limited hours, so if you do trade futures, although I don't expect too much volume or too much action, just check on that as far as what hours they are open. But before we get into any more of the information for next week, if you'd be so kind, if you're enjoying the content that we are providing, smash that subscribe button, and a thumbs up would be much appreciated. Really helps the video get pushed out to a wider audience. And lastly, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Alright, so looking ahead at the calendar for next week, I got a couple of things to point out, but nothing too serious. Wednesday, we do have Powell testifying to the House panel at 10 o'clock, so we definitely want to keep a little bit of an eye on that. And New York Fed President John Williams speaks at 11:45 on Tuesday the 20th. Other than that, we do have initial jobless claims Thursday at June 22nd, and Friday we have S&P Flash U.S. Services PMI at 8:30. So that's what we have to look forward to for this week. But markets were relatively quiet on Friday. Had a couple of moves to the downside that gave some opportunities. But overall, not too much happened. Markets were only down 0.34%. Final print coming in at 439.46. So I have to get used to these higher numbers, right? So what happened here? We kind of came up and got real close again to this it was 44 area, 444, and was not able to get quite as high, and then had sold off and closed down there did we get halfway? So let's go zoom in. A little bit more than halfway, piercing through this candle. So just a little bit. So that will be interesting to see if they actually start to engulf this last move. But let's look at the daily trends here really quickly. And you can kind of see here where we actually ended up stopping this last bull pivot zone, right? This is what they need to defend. Ideally, you would like to see price get pushed back over this this other channel here. But this high price, let's see what it was. This was 439.06, and we came down to a low of 438.97. So just barely coming below that, but was defended at the end of the day. So we'll be still watching that zone. That's going to be the main area for me. That's going to really be the pivot here if we start to break under, and then we'll look for moves back. I don't know, of course, if we'll get all the way here. It's possible down into the daily 9, 434, 40, 38 area, 35. But that's that next pivot here. And you see here we've got on the daily the 9 EMA, nice confluence. So this, of course, might move. But if we do come into this area, break below and recapture, it might set up a nice long scenario for us if we do sell down into that zone. But let's go a little bit further in depth. I don't know. Let me just double check. I don't think we made... No, we didn't make a new. Okay, yeah. So the zero line for the swing high still here is that 444, 443.90 area, and you can see the high here was a bit lower. So we are they're trying to put in a new structure, right? As far as the high here, and now a lower high. So we'll watch out for that. We don't have a third point of contact, but at least we want to note, this little shift here in the market overall. But we'll watch as that develops, because obviously we have another trend line, down in this way too. So we'll have to watch and see what happens. Okay. All right. Let me just see something here. Now for these really are the day trading fibs I've been watching, and what I need to do, I think I was talking about this last time about bringing them to the next. I'm gonna bring them up. Okay, perfect. All right, so now you can see here where we closed around in this zone. So we're going to be watching, of course, that 23.6 is that immediate bullish area that needs to be held onto before we possibly come down. But really, we want to be looking at this swing high as well here. And like I said, I don't really go by just levels like that. I'm more of a supply and demand type of trader. So if we're going to be looking again at 439 area and watch to see if they take out that high, then we can start to look more for that downside move. And if we go into our channel that we were watching here, lines up pretty nicely, right? So we're watching this area. If this gets broken and then we see that buy reaction come up, we can try to look for further retracement down into that 437, 436.50 area. And then under that, we'd have to look out for this 435 pivot. I would definitely watch that as well, and then possibly a little closer to 434 and the mid 433s. That's 433.67, 65 area, and we'll watch that. Right, this is that double bottom zone, okay, from last week. So we'll be watching that area as well. But if we really start to shift the structure here, and the other thing that I want to point out too is let's definitely be wary, right? Because we saw what happened last time it broke. So make sure, my opinion, wait for that extra confirmation that you're really seeing the selling come in, because you don't want to get stuck in this trap move. I mean, you can, but it didn't give you much time here to get out, right? Of course, these are hourly candles. I'm sure it looked a bit different, on a 5-minute chart, something like that. But, you just have to be mindful of that. And make sure you get that confirmation, whether that's even an hourly, when you're talking about these strong trends that have developed over, a week. So, yeah. But you can see here when we came up, right, the high was pretty much at that channel, the top of the channel here. Boom, boom, high here confirmed. And then we sold down. Here was that nice move to the downside, really towards the end of the day. So that was a nice move. But, and then a little double top, kind of, equal highs here and then down. But let's see. I still overall, I mean, like I was saying in the other videos, I still would prefer to be buying the dips and looking for the retracements rather than going short. There's still so many critical areas that the bears really need to break below before we can really start to see some selling. I think it's interesting here, at least on the 30-minute, to look where we have this zone and it's lining up with a nice confluence at this 436.66. This is the 5-day 30-minute chart POC right here. So want to watch this area as well. Nice, like I said, nice confluence, and this could be an interesting area that if we recapture or it comes down and they're showing the buyer support, that it could be a nice dip buy opportunity. But for the bears, yes, there's certainly a play. If this breaks under retest, then you can take it down into this zone, just level by level with lower expectations, just being careful, because obviously, like I said before, until they really start breaking, I mean, down here by 431 or down here by 430, that doesn't mean I'm not going to participate in that move to the short side, but big picture, the bulls are still, in control overall. But nice little confluence here. We're jumping over to the 4-hour 20-day, and nice little confluence here with the 20. If this trend line really breaks and we get a break and a confirmation under this 438.65 area, that definitely could spell a little bit for that downside confirmation for the bears, right? So what do the bulls want to see? We've got to defend this trend line, recapture 440, 440.25, getting back over here, and then just making that slow grind back up. Really, we're going to have to take out this 4-hour candle here at 442. What are the highs? 442.20, somewhere in that area, and get a nice push over that, and that can lead us to come back into these highs, and then ultimately to test that 433.90 zone and break over that and get some confirmation, and then we've talked about 445, so that's ultimately where I'd be looking for, maybe on Tuesday. Or Tuesday would be interesting because it would line up with the top. I mean, depending on what time it happened, it would line up with this area and with the top of the trend. So there could be a potential direct short there. It is a little bit more risky, but that is a play. It did work out here. But as long as your risk is tight, you can, potentially take that, and see if there's a sell reaction back down. Or obviously the safer play is to wait, see the sellers come back. They try to come back, then the buyers come in, try to push it back up, and then it's sold down. So yeah, but if we do break over, and if it's Wednesday, which is possible as well, then it would be a little bit higher. But over that 445, we're still looking at that 448.17 area, to the upside, and then 449, 450 zone. So those are some upside targets I am looking at as well. Anything else? I don't think I need to go over anything else. Like I said, happy Father's Day. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. And yeah, take care and have a good one.